Alrighty, guys. So today's talking head going to be a little different. We've discovered. Well, I was just kind of thinking about it. The amount of, say, waste that passes through my body really hasn't been all that much lately. Especially with eating clean. Apparently, that's kind of very common when you're eating just a lot of, say, chicken, beef, and potato, and like cream of rice. Your body's digestive system can be a little too effective. And basically, the amount of waste isn't enough to obviously get rid of because it's breaking down almost all of the food and there's nothing for it to pass. But what can end up happening is because there's not enough to pass, and it sits, in the colon and the small intestine, and you can end up with just impacted kind of like buildup, I guess. Now, I'm not blocked by any means, like I do go, but it is very, per se, inconsistent now versus like during my bulk in the start of the diet, like the first like 30, I'd say the first like 60 days. I was pretty consistent still. Everyday movements and all that stuff. Then basically around probably like day 60 to 65 somewhere, it started becoming very inconsistent. So I know that's part of, I reduced the amount of calories I was taking in, obviously, plus changed the type of food I was consuming to something that is very easily digestible all the time. So, just for shits and giggles, well, a lot of shits and probably not many giggles, we're going to give magnesium citrate a try. Probably terrible decision. Probably going to hate my life. But we're going to find out what happens. So, I've always been curious because I've seen these videos and they're kind of funny when you roll across the shorts of them on TikTok. So, we're going to see how much we kind of end up expelling in the next few hours. So, because this is for science, I weighed myself this morning. Obviously, up in weight this morning. I had a cheat meal on Father's Day. Not that is because of my dad or anything. It's just, what? Sounds pretty good right now, and I just mentally cannot stop myself from doing it. So I did have a lot of carbs. Lots and lots of carbs. Not a lot of protein. So that, we are going to do it to ourselves. So that, guys, I'm going to get this chugged down. And then I guess I need to drink an extra like 32 ounces of water after this. And we'll have a little check-in. Alrighty, guys, what is up? So, on the stair stepper today. So day 88 now. So yesterday, we went ahead and did that magnesium citrate drink. What an experience that is. Wasn't too terrible, truthfully, but I can say in my case, it's probably actually a little useless to do. It was kind of nice getting an actual rest day though. But, so, we'll go ahead and talk about that experience kind of quickly. But, woke up, had that drink at about 11, did my normal business around 11:10. So I know that had nothing to do with it yet. And then come about 12:40, it
the first movement was actually impressive. About the same as my normal movements, plus, I don't know, I would say 8 or 10 ounces of additional fluids. And then basically every 45 minutes for the next 10 hours was that same thing. Nothing extra solid ever came out yesterday, but we can definitely say the effect was kind of like, I would have to say it's like washing out like a dusty gutter. So like you get a bunch of colored water, and that's about it, right? So it's good in the fact of, I know there's no compactions, any excess stool just sitting there, and that what I'm currently doing is effective at keeping my system flowing, even though the volume has slowed down. So that's good to know. So, other than that, I can't say anything magnificent happened. But, so, good little rest day. Didn't do much of anything, obviously. Can't get too far away from rushers. Now, as for day before yesterday, so since today's 88, that would have been day 90. Day 90, we had a killer fucking bicep and shoulder day. It was awesome. Big pumps. Felt really strong for my curls. We did 40-pound feature hammer curls with the dumbbells. And we're able to move up to the 100-pound easy bar for those preacher curls. So we did make some strength gains to finish out last week. Today being Tuesday, this is now the start of our week since yesterday was a rest day. So, since it was our bicep shoulder day on our last workout, today will be our second back day of the week. Well, of the rotation. So, looking forward to that pump. Now, the other nice thing is, we were 212 yesterday when we woke up. And today, 211.5. That should be kind of like my average of what I normally drop. So, because of that, I know I was able to keep myself hydrated enough yesterday. And that everything should still be nice and lubricated and not dehydrated by the time I go into hitting later today, which will be awesome. So, definitely looking forward to a big pump later today. Now, am feeling pretty sporty today. We're on the stair stepper today, that little angry patella pain. Haven't felt it for a few days. So we're going to give it a little test out today and see if we can start adding the stair stepper back in versus only the treadmill. Now, I don't think I'm going to do this every day, but because I don't know if that's part of what irritated the patella. I'm sure part of it all kind of started when I got hit by the car. So that probably started it, and then doing the stair stepper every day on top of that just kept pissing it off. But hey, it is what it is. So calorically, we're 15 minutes in, and I'm already 20 calories ahead of where I would be on the treadmill. That is a benefit of the stair stepper, it's you basically burn twice the amount of calories over the same period of time. So at least the two comparative speeds I do them at. But I think we'll do 20 minutes total here today. So I've got a little under 4 minutes left. Instead of having to do 30, I'll still be ahead of where I normally am by quite a bit. But this is also the first time I'll walk to 20 minutes straight on the stair stepper. So that would be a stair stepper PR right there. So I will say, apparently doing all that treadmill work does translate to the stair stepper. But that's where I'm kind of at with that. Starting to feel a little behind as per wait to days out. It does make me worry a little bit, but as long as I get locked in here, I stay to diet, no more cheat meals, deal with the immense hunger, we'll see what happens. So, but it is June 23rd. Which makes me pretty excited for what, week and a half away from 4th of July? This will be my first 4th down here in Florida, and I'm excited because we're allowed to have real fireworks here. So, probably going to go spend a little money that I don't have. Not that I condone it, but sometimes your credit card sometimes just has to get used. It is what it is. So, but that, guys, that's kind of my magnesium citrate experience and what we're looking at for the last 2 days, what we've got coming up. So I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. Make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done. Most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.